You know, in 1994, we were busy in California planting campus churches.
Yeah, my goal in 1994 was to really be someone who helped churches have good sound theology.
For 10 years, we had been planting churches on campuses all over the Philippines. We had done a little bit of world mission work.
We had someone in Malaysia, I believe, that had invited us to come and speak. And so we responded to that, and then on the way back, because we were in Asia, we were going to go see Pastor Steve.
I'll never forget that night, March the 4th, 1994. Rice and Phil are downloading to me what happened in the open doors in Singapore and Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And they're talking about the opportunities for church planting, for campus ministry, to expand around the world, to take the gospel, to make disciples, to develop leaders, to plant churches. It was exciting.
So when we got to Manila, all that was still resonant. All that was still, I think, not only resonant, but resonating. That we needed to see the nations reached, we needed to do it by reaching students, and that somehow maybe all that would come together, but none of us really understood how that would look.
In my mind, I thought, I don't know what we is. And I said something to the effect of, I don't think there's a we. There's Phil, there's Rice, and there's me, but there's no we.
This was really the moment because I remember so clearly Steve pausing and looking at us both and saying, I think all of us need to do this. He said, I'm not going to do this without you guys. I remember at that moment, the tangible presence of the Holy Spirit.
I don't know that I've ever heard or felt the clarity of the call of God like I did that night.
There was a lot of sense of destiny, and that we had some calling together, and that we were trusting God to show us how that was to look.
The idea of church planting, campus ministry, and world mission was not a new idea. It was exactly what we were already doing. But reconnecting with Rice and Phil and hearing the same thing was in their heart. They were still passionate about church planting, campus ministry, and world mission. And the more we talked, the more it was obvious that what we're doing now, we're supposed to continue, but we're supposed to continue doing it together.
The clear mandate of God and the Holy Spirit that we were to join our ministries together and form something completely new, completely different.
So once that meeting was over, I think my primary role was not only to continue to cast vision to this young group of churches and leaders about reaching the world and reaching campus and et cetera, but also to build bridges to some existing relationships that just needed to know that you were welcome to join us. All of us sensed that there was a joining there that we just needed to learn how to define, and once we defined it and spelled it out, then others would join us, and that's what happened.
I didn't expect anyone to be interested or even want to join what we were doing. That was never the point. The point was to expand to new areas together. But old friends started hearing about that meeting. They started hearing about what happened that night that Rice calls the miracle in Manila, and several friends started saying, hey, if you guys are going to do that, can I be a part? Can I come help? It was never about recruiting people to join us. It was always about pioneering new campuses, new cities, new nations.
I look back on the first 5, 6, 7 years of our ministries together, our movement together of every nation, and it was really the forming years, the foundational years, where everything we did from a ministry standpoint flowed out of reaching the campus and changing the world.
It's the compassion for the lost of the world that pulled us together and that pushes us forward to the vision, to the mission God's called us to. Go and make disciples of all nations. It's our calling, it's our mission, it's our strategy, it's our future.
I think to frame this moment for me of 25 years of this ministry existing, I would connect it to Psalm 100. And it says at the very end, for the Lord is good, and His steadfast love endures forever, and His faithfulness to all generations. And our response is to say, great is your faithfulness. Lord, may we be found faithful to do what you called us to do.